Chosen one, December 16th is your glory day. Please listen. This message is not accidentally finding you, and it is not appearing in your life by chance or coincidence. There is a rhythm to time, a hidden intelligence moving through days and seasons, and December 16th carries a frequency that aligns directly with your path. You may have felt pressure building, emotions surfacing, memories returning, or a quiet inner knowing that something is about to shift. This is because you are standing at a threshold. Glory does not always arrive with noise or applause. Sometimes it arrives as clarity, as relief, as strength returning after a long period of endurance. Chosen one, this day marks the moment when what you have carried silently begins to make sense. The struggles, the waiting, the moments where you questioned your worth or direction, none of it was wasted. December 16th activates recognition. Recognition of who you are becoming, recognition of what you survived, and recognition by the universe that you are ready to receive what aligns with your truth. Before we go deeper, stay with this message until the end, because every word builds on the next, and there is a reason you were guided here. In the comments, write your warmest wishes and the number 144 as a signal of alignment, intention, and connection, because this is a moment where wishes come into focus and the universe responds to clarity rather than desperation. This is not about begging for change, but about energizing the space where change already wants to meet you. When you do this, you are not asking for miracles. You are acknowledging that they are already in motion. Now, chosen one, press the hype button like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. Chosen one, December 16th is not about becoming someone else. It is about fully stepping into who you already are. You have spent a long time learning restraint, patience, and resilience. You learned how to keep going when validation was absent, when support was inconsistent, and when outcomes were delayed. This day honors that endurance. Glory is not ego. Glory is alignment. It is when your inner world and outer world stop fighting each other. You may notice that on this day, or shortly after, conversations change, opportunities present themselves without force, or a decision becomes suddenly clear. This is because resistance loosens when timing is right. You were not meant to rush your becoming. Every delay refined your discernment. Every disappointment trained you to recognize what is not meant for you. December 16th brings a turning point where you no longer chase confirmation. You embody certainty. Chosen one, people around you may start responding differently, not because you changed for them, but because you stopped shrinking for them. Glory arrives when you no longer negotiate your worth. This day also carries restoration. There are parts of you that have been tired in ways sleep could not fix. Emotional fatigue, spiritual fatigue, the exhaustion of always being strong. December 16th marks the beginning of renewal, not as a dramatic overnight transformation, but as a steady return of energy, motivation, and trust in yourself. You may feel lighter without knowing exactly why. That is alignment re-entering your system. Chosen one, listen carefully. Not everything you lost was a loss. Some things had to fall away because they belonged to an earlier version of you. December 16th is a line between chapters. You do not drag the old story forward. You integrate its lessons and move on. This is how cycles close cleanly. This is how you avoid repeating the same patterns under new names. There is also a message here about visibility. Glory does not always mean being seen by everyone. It means being seen by the right energies, the right people, the right opportunities. December 16th enhances signal clarity. You stop broadcasting confusion and start transmitting intention. This is why things align faster after this point. You are no longer sending mixed messages to life. Chosen one, you may have doubted whether your quiet persistence mattered. It did. You may have wondered if your integrity would ever be rewarded. It will be. December 16th is a reminder that timing is not punishment. It is preparation. The universe does not rush what must last. As you move through this day, do not force celebration. Simply remain present. Notice what feels different. Notice what no longer drains you. Notice what you no longer tolerate. These are signs of glory settling in. You are not behind. You are right on time. Chosen one. December 16th continues to unfold beyond a single moment. It is not a switch that flips and then fades, but a doorway you step through with awareness. What changes now is not only what happens around you, but how you interpret what happens. You no longer see challenges as proof of failure. You see them as signals of refinement. This shift in perception is one of the clearest markers that your glory phase has begun. When the mind stops fighting reality, reality starts cooperating. There is a deep recalibration happening within you. For a long time, you adapted to survive. You learned to read rooms, manage expectations, and minimize your needs so that things would not fall apart. December 16th marks the moment where survival habits begin to loosen their grip. You are no longer required to shrink your voice or dilute your truth. Chosen one, you will notice that silence feels different now. It is no longer lonely. It is spacious. Solitude becomes a source of power rather than a reminder of absence. This period also brings discernment. Not everything that seeks your attention deserves your energy. You are learning, sometimes abruptly, where your presence is valued and where it is merely tolerated. Glory sharpens your boundaries. You stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. This is not coldness. It is clarity. Chosen one, clarity is one of the most underestimated forms of strength. December 16th activates self-trust. Decisions that once took weeks of overthinking begin to come faster, cleaner, and with less emotional residue. You are not impulsive, you are aligned. There is a difference. Alignment removes the need for external permission. You no longer wait for signs that validate what you already know internally. The confirmation comes after the decision, not before. You may also feel a subtle detachment from outcomes. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. Chosen one, detachment is not indifference. It is confidence in timing. When you stop gripping the future with fear, the future meets you with opportunity. December 16th teaches you that effort does not require anxiety. You can move forward without carrying tension as proof of seriousness. There is something else happening beneath the surface. Your relationship with identity is changing. You are no longer defined by your past roles, past pain, or past expectations. You stop introducing yourself internally through what you endured. Instead, you begin to recognize yourself through what you choose. This is a profound shift. Chosen one, when identity becomes fluid, growth becomes natural. Do not be surprised if certain connections fade quietly during this time. There may be no conflict, no dramatic ending, just distance. This is not loss. It is alignment. Some people were meant to walk with you only until you remembered who you are. December 16th honors completion. It allows chapters to close without guilt. Your inner dialogue also changes. The harsh voice that once pushed you through fear loses its authority. In its place comes a steadier tone, firm but supportive. You no longer motivate yourself through pressure. You motivate yourself through purpose. This is how sustainability is built. Glory that lasts does not come from burning yourself out. It comes from honoring your rhythm. Chosen one, pay attention to your body during this phase. Tension releases in unexpected ways. You may feel the urge to rest more, move differently, or simplify your routines. This is not regression. It is integration. Your system is adjusting to a higher level of coherence. When the inner world stabilizes, the body follows. December 16th also brings a quiet courage. Not the kind that announces itself, but the kind that shows up when it matters. You speak when you would have stayed silent. You walk away when you would have stayed to prove a point. You choose peace without needing to justify it. These small decisions compound into a new reality. You are not meant to rush this phase. Glory unfolds through consistency, not spectacle. Chosen one, trust what is stabilizing within you. Trust what no longer feels forced. This is how you know you are aligned with the path that is opening now. Chosen one, as December 16th continues to echo through your life, you may begin to notice that your relationship with time itself is changing. You are less anxious about how long things take, and more attentive to how things feel while they are unfolding. This is not passivity. This is mastery. When urgency dissolves, intention sharpens. You stop rushing toward milestones and start moving in rhythm with your own readiness. Glory does not demand haste. It rewards precision. There is a growing sense of internal authority within you. You no longer need to borrow confidence from outcomes, praise, or recognition. Your stability comes from self-acknowledgement. Chosen one, this is important, because when your worth is internally anchored, external fluctuations lose their power to destabilize you. Success does not inflate you. Setbacks do not diminish you. You remain centered. This phase also refines your relationship with effort. You begin to recognize where effort is productive and where it is performative. You stop doing things just to prove endurance. You start doing things because they align with your direction. December 16th marks the end of unnecessary struggle. Not because life becomes effortless, but because you stop fighting battles that were never yours to win. You may feel a quiet confidence emerging in spaces where you once felt uncertain. Meetings, conversations, creative work, or personal decisions no longer trigger the same hesitation. This is because you trust your inner compass more than external noise. Chosen one, this trust was earned. It was built through repetition, disappointment, and self-reflection. It did not arrive overnight, and it will not leave easily. Another sign of this glory phase is how you respond to resistance. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. You observe. You choose. This pause is powerful. It creates space between stimulus and response, and in that space, you reclaim control. December 16th strengthens this capacity. You no longer feel compelled to defend yourself in every moment. Silence becomes a strategic choice, not avoidance. Your creativity may also deepen during this time. Ideas come with less friction. Expression feels more honest, less filtered. You are no longer trying to appeal to everyone. You are speaking from alignment, and that resonance reaches those who are meant to hear it. Chosen one, authenticity amplifies impact more than perfection ever could. There is also a reordering of priorities. Things that once consumed your attention begin to feel less important. You invest more energy into what nourishes rather than what distracts. This is not withdrawal from life. It is intentional engagement. December 16th invites you to build a life that supports you, not one that constantly demands from you. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos decreases. Environments, relationships, or habits that thrive on instability no longer feel sustainable. This is not judgment. It is self-respect. Chosen one, peace becomes a non-negotiable standard, not a luxury you hope to earn later. This period strengthens your ability to let things be incomplete. You no longer need immediate closure for every situation. You trust that clarity will arrive when it is useful, not when impatience demands it. This trust reduces mental noise and conserves energy. Glory often looks like calm persistence rather than dramatic breakthroughs. December 16th also enhances your sense of purpose, not in the form of a single grand mission, but as a steady alignment between your values and your actions. You begin to measure success differently. It is no longer about how much you accomplish, but how true your actions feel. Chosen one, this recalibration brings satisfaction that is not dependent on comparison. You are not becoming someone new. You are shedding what was never truly you. This is why the process feels both unfamiliar and deeply right at the same time. Growth often feels like remembering rather than learning. Stay grounded in this phase. There is no need to announce it or prove it. The changes speak for themselves. Chosen one, December 16th continues to work quietly in your favor, shaping a reality that reflects the strength, clarity, and alignment you have cultivated. Chosen one, as the influence of December 16th continues to integrate, you may notice that your emotional landscape becomes more stable, not because emotions disappear, but because they no longer control your direction. You feel deeply, yet you are no longer swept away. This balance is a sign of maturity, and maturity is a core component of lasting glory. When emotions inform rather than dominate, wisdom takes the lead. There is a strengthening of self-respect happening now. You begin to notice when something feels off much earlier than before, and you act on that awareness instead of dismissing it. Chosen one, this is significant. Ignoring intuition was never a lack of intelligence. It was a survival strategy. December 16th marks the point where survival gives way to sovereignty. You no longer override your inner signals to keep the peace externally. This phase also brings a redefinition of strength. Strength is no longer endurance at all costs. It becomes discernment, rest, and choosing sustainability. You allow yourself to pause without guilt. You recover without explaining. You protect your energy without apology. Glory that endures is built on self-preservation, not self-sacrifice. Your relationships begin to mirror this shift. Interactions become more honest, more direct, and less emotionally exhausting. You stop carrying conversations alone. You stop compensating for imbalance. Chosen one, reciprocity becomes a requirement, not a hope. This does not reduce connection. It improves it. Only what is mutual can grow. You may also experience a release of old emotional narratives. Stories you once told yourself about why things happened begin to lose their emotional charge. Not because they were untrue, but because they are no longer relevant. December 16th helps you unhook from identities formed around pain. You honor what you lived through without living inside it anymore. There is an internal quiet that begins to form, even in the middle of busy days. This quiet is not emptiness. It is presence. You are less scattered. less reactive, and more grounded in the moment. Chosen one, presence sharpens perception. You see situations more clearly, and clarity reduces unnecessary effort. This period also invites you to redefine success in personal terms. You stop chasing outcomes that look impressive but feel hollow. You choose what aligns with your values, even if it unfolds more slowly. December 16th reminds you that fulfillment is not found in acceleration, but in coherence between who you are and how you live. Your confidence becomes quieter, but stronger. You no longer need to be right in every discussion. You no longer need to win every argument. You prioritize peace over performance. This is not disengagement. It is mastery of ego. Chosen one, when ego softens, wisdom becomes audible. There may be moments where you feel detached from your former ambitions, not because you lost drive, but because your drive has matured. You are no longer fueled by proving anything. You are fueled by alignment. This shift reduces burnout and increases consistency. December 16th also strengthens your capacity for patience, not as tolerance for discomfort, but as trust in process. You understand that forcing outcomes often delays them. You allow things to unfold without micromanaging the timeline. Glory meets those who respect timing. You are learning how to hold space for yourself in ways you once reserved for others. This self-support is transformative. It changes how you show up everywhere else. Chosen one, when you stop abandoning yourself, the world responds differently. Nothing about this phase requires urgency. It requires presence, honesty, and consistency. Let the changes integrate naturally. December 16th is not a peak you fall from. It is a foundation you build upon. Chosen one, as the days move forward from December 16th, you may realize that your sense of direction has become steadier, even when circumstances remain uncertain. You are no longer thrown off balance by not having all the answers. This is because your confidence is no longer dependent on predictability. You trust yourself to respond, adapt, and choose wisely in real time. Glory is not control over life. It is trust in your ability to meet life as it comes. This phase deepens your connection to intuition in a practical way. Intuition is no longer a vague feeling you question. It becomes a reliable signal you respect. You act on subtle nudges instead of waiting for overwhelming proof. Chosen one, this is how momentum builds without force. Small, aligned decisions compound into meaningful change. You may notice that your internal standards rise. You become more selective with commitments, conversations, and environments. This selectivity is not arrogance. It is alignment. You are learning that your energy is a finite resource, and where you place it shapes your reality. December 16th reinforces the importance of conscious investment. There is also a shift in how you experience effort. You still work, you still show up, but the strain is reduced. You are no longer fighting yourself. Resistance fades when actions match intention. Chosen one, ease does not mean lack of seriousness. It means clarity of purpose. Old fears may surface briefly during this phase, not to stop you, but to be released. They appear because you are outgrowing them. Instead of reacting, you observe. Instead of avoiding, you integrate. December 16th gives you the emotional capacity to hold discomfort without being defined by it. You may find yourself speaking more truthfully, even when it feels uncomfortable. Not impulsively, but honestly. You no longer shape your words to manage other people's reactions. Chosen one, this honesty simplifies your life. When communication becomes clear, confusion loses its grip. This period also strengthens your sense of personal authority. You stop waiting for permission to take yourself seriously. You validate your own experience. You trust your interpretation of events. This internal validation stabilizes you in ways external approval never could. Your relationship with failure changes as well. Mistakes no longer feel like evidence of inadequacy. They become feedback. You adjust without self-criticism. December 16th helps you separate growth from self-punishment. You may notice a growing comfort with being misunderstood. This does not mean you seek conflict. It means you no longer compromise your truth to maintain an image. Chosen one, authenticity always narrows the audience, but it deepens connection. There is also a renewed sense of responsibility for your own well-being. You stop expecting others to rescue, fix, or complete you. This is not isolation. It is empowerment. When you take ownership of your inner world, relationships become partnerships rather than dependencies. As this phase continues, you may feel less urgency to label where you are going. You focus instead on how you are moving. Alignment replaces ambition, driven by comparison. Glory unfolds through integrity, not competition. You are becoming comfortable with simplicity. Complexity loses its appeal when clarity is present. You choose what works over what impresses. Chosen one, this simplicity is a sign of refinement, not limitation. Let this phase breathe. There is no finish line to rush toward. December 16th marks the beginning of a steadier, more grounded way of being. Trust what is stabilizing within you. It is preparing you for what comes next. Chosen one, this final phase of the message settles everything into integration. December 16th is no longer something you look toward or analyze. It becomes something you live from. What once felt like a moment now feels like a stance. You stand differently in your life. You do not brace for impact the way you once did. You expect stability, and because of that expectation, you create it. There is a noticeable shift in how you relate to uncertainty. You no longer interpret the unknown as danger. You see it as space. Space to choose, space to adjust, space to grow without being boxed into old definitions. Chosen one, this openness is not naivety. It is confidence without rigidity. You trust yourself enough to move without needing guarantees. Your sense of self becomes less fragmented. You no longer feel like one version of yourself in private and another in public. Alignment closes that gap. What you think, what you say, and what you do begin to move in the same direction. This coherence reduces inner conflict, and with less inner conflict, your energy returns. You may notice that you recover faster now, from disappointment, from stress, from emotional strain. This resilience is not numbness. It is regulation. December 16th strengthens your nervous system's ability to return to balance. Chosen one, this is a form of wealth that cannot be taken from you. There is also a quiet pride that emerges, not the kind that seeks validation, but the kind that comes from self-respect. You acknowledge how far you have come without minimizing the difficulty of the journey. You stop pretending it was easy. You stop pretending you are unaffected. You honor your endurance honestly. Your relationship with effort becomes sustainable. You pace yourself. You no longer confuse exhaustion with progress. You understand that consistency outperforms intensity when intensity is driven by fear. Chosen one, this understanding protects you from repeating cycles of burnout. You may feel a stronger pull toward environments that support calm, focus, and authenticity. Noise loses its appeal. drama feels heavy. You choose spaces that allow you to hear yourself think. This is not withdrawal from life. It is discernment about where life flows best through you. December 16th also brings acceptance, not resignation, but clarity about what is and what is not within your control. You release the illusion that you must manage everything to be safe. You manage yourself instead. This is where true power lives. Your compassion deepens, especially toward yourself. You stop using hindsight as a weapon. You stop judging past decisions with present awareness. Chosen one, you understand it now that you always acted with the tools you had at the time. This forgiveness frees energy that was locked in regret. As you move forward, you may notice that opportunities align more naturally. Not because life suddenly became generous, but because you are no longer misaligned with what you accept. You say yes with intention and no without guilt. This clarity simplifies everything. You are not waiting for a sign anymore. You are the signal. Your steadiness, your presence, or your discernment shape your reality more than any external event. Chosen one, this is what glory looks like when it matures. December 16th was never about one day changing everything. It was about you becoming someone who no longer abandons themselves. From this place, growth continues without force. Stability expands without effort, and alignment becomes your default state. Chosen one, this closing movement is about embodiment. Everything that shifted, softened, and strengthened since December 16th now settles into how you live, not how you think about living. The work is no longer internal processing alone. It becomes visible through your choices, your pacing, and your presence. You do not announce this change. You demonstrate it quietly. You may notice that you are less reactive to external pressure. Opinions, expectations, and urgency from others no longer hook into you the same way. This does not mean you stop listening. It means you stop surrendering your center. Chosen one, when your center is stable, you can engage without losing yourself. This phase teaches you how to move forward without dragging the past behind you. Memories may still arise, but they no longer dictate your decisions. You are informed by experience, not imprisoned by it. December 16th helped you separate wisdom from weight. What remains is insight without heaviness. There is a new relationship with responsibility forming now. You take responsibility for your actions, your healing, and your direction. But you release responsibility for controlling outcomes that were never yours to manage. This balance creates freedom. Chosen one, freedom is not the absence of obligation. It is clarity about what truly belongs to you. Your sense of purpose becomes quieter and more durable. You no longer need to constantly define it. Purpose expresses itself through how you treat your time, how you honor your energy, and how you show up when no one is watching. This grounded purpose is resistant to doubt because it is lived, not imagined. You may find that patience now comes more naturally, not because you suppress desire, but because you trust timing. You understand that rushing often creates the very delays you fear. December 16th anchored you into a longer view, one where consistency matters more than speed. Chosen one, your boundaries continue to refine. They are no longer reactive walls built from hurt. They become calm guidelines built from self-knowledge. You communicate limits without aggression and uphold them without guilt. This creates respect, whether or not others agree. There is also an easing in your relationship with effort and rest. You allow cycles. You work when energy is present and recover when it is not. You stop demanding constant output from yourself. This rhythm supports longevity. Glory that lasts respects human limits. You may notice an increased tolerance for silence and stillness. You are no longer uncomfortable when nothing is happening. You recognize stillness as preparation, not stagnation. Chosen one, some of the most important shifts occur beneath the surface. As you integrate all of this, you stop looking for confirmation that you are on the right path. The absence of inner resistance becomes the confirmation. You feel less fragmented, less conflicted, less pulled in opposing directions. This coherence is the clearest sign that alignment has taken root. December 16th was the point of ignition, but what follows is expansion. Not explosive, not dramatic, steady, intentional, and sustainable. You grow into the life that matches who you are now, not who you were when you were surviving. Chosen one, carry this forward gently. There is nothing to prove, nothing to chase, and nothing to force. You are moving with yourself instead of against yourself. From this place, progress is inevitable.